Good afternoon, Floss Tube. It's Julie with Reflections Framing and Stitching. And my better half, Dan.
Hey.
The man, the myth, the dragon. Right?
When I'm in the mood.
When you're in the mood. Not in the mood today.
Yeah.
He did not want to be on camera today. He said he didn't look good. But everybody look. He looks just fine, doesn't he? Just fine. Welcome. How are you? It's been a hot minute since my last video. I think I said the last chart of the day video was a month ago, and the last video was about 3 months ago. So I apologize. Where have I been, you might wonder? Well, the last month it's been retreat for about the last month and a half. Finally got to hold the retreat that was supposed to happen in May of 2020. Feels good to have that done, but you know, in my head I was a lot closer to being ready for retreat than what the reality actually was when I finally dug everything out and kind of got a lay of the land as to what still needed to be done, because there's a lot of stuff you can't do until the very the last few weeks when you finally know who's coming, who's not coming. There's just a lot to do, and I didn't realize quite how much there was left to do. So that sucked up a lot of time, didn't it?
It did.
It did. So Dan doesn't have really anything to show you today. He's here mostly as my Vanna today. He's going to hand me things and hold things, and I have a lot to cover. I'm gonna give a retreat recap. We're gonna show what I've worked on, which hasn't been a ton. I have some finishes to show you, some WIPs to show you, a couple things that I have added to my stash. So I think, yeah, that's it. It could be a long one, or I might decide to cut it in half. I don't know. I'm not technologically advanced in that way, so we're just going to go with it and see what happens. So I think we'll start with retreat and go from there. So retreat was last weekend. It started on Thursday the 21st. Thursday the 21st. It was back at Calvin Crest where we normally have our retreats. Been 2 years since our last retreat, so everyone was really looking forward to it. We had a lot of new people this time. I'm going to say there was probably maybe 15 new people, which is a lot of new people for us. Enjoyed having all of them, so it was kind of nice having new people, and then some of the people that have been coming for 10 years. So that was good, but so I'm just going to go like maybe day by day. If you thought this was going to be really organized, you got another thing coming. I'm flying by the seat of my pants here. You can chime in anytime, hon.
No, you're doing fine.
Okay. All right. If I forget anything, let me know. Okay. So retreat started at 2 p.m. on Thursday the 21st, and when people come in, there's a desk, and they would come in and they would get their room assignment. If they had a piece for our smalls exchange, they would leave it there, and I'd give them a ticket for their exchange piece. If they had anything for the swap table, they could leave it there. And then they would get their retreat project. So this year, and this isn't exactly what it looked like because Connie put a prettier bow on it than what I'm like, I'm not going to tie the bow, so I just used a twist tie. But there was a pretty bow on it. So this was what the retreat project looked like this year when they picked it up. So they got this mug that says always be thankful. And inside the mug, and yes, I'm going to make crinkly noises. This was Connie's idea on how to package it, which I thought was really a good idea. So inside the mug, they got the floss for the project. They got some floss cards. It said DMC on it. That's the front. They got the fabric for the project. Everyone got a bottle of hand sanitizer. Floss. They got a ring for the floss tags. And the chart, which I will take out of the bag so you don't have a glare. And that was the theme for retreat this year. Well, I named it Need I Say More. So it was all about stitching needfuls. So that was the chart. So that was what they got when they checked in. So then they would take their stuff to their room, their suitcase and stuff, and then their stitching stuff would go down to the stitching room after that. I don't know how that goes in there, but and then I had someone down there kind of directing traffic a little bit to let people know where the people who have been coming for a very long time have their groups that they like to sit with. So there were tables that were already full, so they just kind of directed people to where, you know, which tables were empty, which tables had empty seats at them. And I stayed upstairs until everybody was checked in for the day. We had a couple that weren't coming until Friday. So once everyone that was arriving on Thursday was there, then I went downstairs and said hi to everybody. And pretty much everyone just kind of stitched until dinner that night. I don't think I sat down at before dinner. I think I was kind of making the rounds and saying hello to everybody and making sure everyone had everything they needed. Then we went to dinner at 6 and came back to the stitching room, and then we handed out the second part of their retreat gifts, which looked like this. And I'll take the stuff out and show it to you individually. But again, it had a nice ribbon on it that Connie had done. So every year, Connie makes a mug mat in the theme. So this fabric here is where the idea sprang from for the stitching needfuls. I saw this fabric, and then the idea for the chart came, and then I took the ideas for the rest of the gifts from this. So we went with kind of a rose gold theme for some of the stuff, but this, where does it open? So there's a little, little pocket on the mug mat you can slide your scissors into if you want. But every year Connie makes one to match the theme of the retreat. So that was this year's mug mat. And I don't know if I've ever told the story about the mug mats before. Sorry, Stacy, I'm going to tell the story again. We told it at retreat for those who were new, but the first year that we had retreat and that Connie made the mug mats. Stacy was talking to another gal that comes to retreat all the time, Linda, and she said that was how it was really, really nice, but wasn't it kind of flat for a pincushion? She didn't realize it was a mug mat. So every year we kind of tease her about the new latest pincushion. Let's see. They also got
Mug mat.
Huh?
A mug mat.
This is not a mug mat. This is a pincushion. I also got a pincushion made by me. It's stuffed with walnut shells, crushed walnut shells, and made out of wool felt. And they got a little jar of buttons, because everyone needs a jar of buttons in their needfuls. And then on the top of the jar was their needle minder. I always make a needle minder, and it just happens to fit on that lid and make it kind of cute. So they got that. They got all the buttons and the little half bobbin, wood bobbin that goes on the, what'd you do with that chart? You need to take it back out, huh? So there's a little half bobbin there that you stitch on. And then here, you can't see it, but I had a little charm made with everyone's name, which was kind of a nightmare because this was supposed to happen 2 years ago. So I had the charms made for everyone who was supposed to come 2 years ago, and then there were people that dropped out. And when I thought I was going to have the retreat again, I had names made for the people who came in after the people dropped out, and then we ended up not having retreat. So I had little charms made multiple times. Finally waited until after we were a month before retreat, and I was having this retreat come hell or high water. So I contacted the lady that had made the little name charms for me and gave her the list. There were like 10 I needed. Gave her the list, and she I don't know, we had a miscommunication of some sort, and she sent me one charm with one name, which wasn't going to cut it. And it took her 2 weeks to do that. So I was kind of sweating bullets. I sent her a message and said I needed those other charms, and she, for one reason or another, had thought I only needed one charm. But she managed to get them done and get them sent to us, so no problems there. They arrived a couple of days before retreat, so kind of added to, what are you doing?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. But anyway, the little items that are in that little baggie are the buttons that go over here, the big pink button there, the half bobbin, and then the little name charm. So they got that, and then the last item in the bag was this year for the first time. Of course, this was also the first time I personalized anything, and that went really well too. They had some pre-stitching to do this year. It was a little design I did that said it's orts on it, because every year we have an ort container. For those of you who may not be aware of what an ort is, it's the little snippets that are at the end of your thread that, you know, if you're me, you just kind of toss them on the floor and vacuum them up later. But a lot of people put their orts in a little container and they save them. So I had designed this little orts piece, and then as a pre-stitch, and then when they got to retreat, they were going to do the finishing, and so they got the spool that this would go on. So slide that on for me, would you?
They don't do anything with their orts, do they? There's no
Some
use
pe-
for orts.
Some people save their orts and put them in a Christmas ornament every year as kind of a way of commemorating their stitching for that year.
All right. Imagine my embarrassment.
I don't. So anyway, the lid comes off of the spool. I had been saving these tubes for 6 years, thinking I would find something to do with them. And the funny part about that is, right before I decided to do this spool for the Ort container, I threw them all away. Then came up with the idea for the spool, so I found a place that had a bunch of empty ones and got them replaced. But so anyway, they ended up, when they did their finishing with this Ort container, Vanna Pfeiffer of the Twisted Stitcher fame was kind enough to record a tutorial on how to finish this 2 years ago. She'd even forgotten she'd done it until someone mentioned her on Instagram, I think it was, and she's like, "Oh, I forgot I'd even done that." So thank you, Vanna, even though you forgot you'd done it. I had not. I really appreciated it, and so did all the ladies. They got their little container done. So that was the after dinner gift on Thursday night. So then Friday morning, everyone got up, went to breakfast, came back to the stitching room, and then they received, I'm not sure which order they received this in, so we're just going to say I think it was this next gift we handed out. And I'm probably forgetting things because that was a whole week ago. My memory only lasts about 15 minutes these days. So they got this little bag, and inside the little bag was a rose gold tape measure. And if you push the center, it goes in. Vintage thimble, because everyone needs a thimble in their needfuls. A micro needle threader, which you're not going to be able to, can you kind of sort of see? Maybe right there you can see the little hook on it. So a needle threader. This is a rose gold pair of scissors that opens up like that, closes down, and then the scissor fob made by me.
You think all the stitchers know that scissors do that, or is that kind of you?
I think everyone probably realizes how that works.
Pretty cool.
But just in case, it's just as easy as that.
Stab yourself.
Yeah, I don't want to stab myself. So that was their next gift, and then I don't know, on Friday we had shop. I opened the shop for a couple hours because I took a bunch of not the entire shop, but a good portion of the shop with me. So we did the finishing video, which took most of the day. I kind of thought maybe that it would be easy enough that people could just watch the video, get their finishing, and do their finishing, but I ended up having to be in there and assist a little bit. So I was in there most of the day, and then we opened the shop, I think, in the evening. Is how that went, I believe. But they stitched all day. We went to supper Friday night, and when they came back from supper on Friday night, then we handed out this part of the gift. So this is all the wood stuff. So we had 2 bobbins. This bobbin was made for the 2020 retreat, but it was no longer 2020, so I went ahead and had new bobbins made with 2021. So everyone got one of each. We have a reflections framing and stitching corner gauge, or stitch starter as I like to call them. So you can have a 2-inch, 2.5, or a 3-inch border on your stitching. And then vintage needle cases, and it's not on this one, it's in the one that I have, but on the bottom we wrote the size of the needles, so we gave them each 2 of a 24, 26, and 28 needle that would go in their needle cases. And then shop night and stitching, and everyone had a really good time stitching that night. Saturday morning we got up. Normally we have brunch on Sundays, and then people tend to pack up and go home, but there was another group there on Sunday that did not want brunch. So because everyone was disappointed we weren't going to have brunch, Calvin Crest went ahead and let us have brunch on Saturday instead. So brunch was at 10:30, so everyone stitched in the morning. Prior to that, Connie and I sat in the room, the shop room, and finished tallying up everyone's purchases from the night before. And then we went to brunch, came back from brunch. I started calling people up to pay for their stitches. The shop was open then for another few hours, I think until 3 that afternoon. And then I closed it down because we were supposed to get a ton of rain on Sunday, and didn't want to be trying to load the shop up on Sunday. So we closed the shop down, packed it all up, and got it loaded into the car while it was still dry, which was a very good decision because, yes, it did pour on Sunday, and we were totally soaked by the time we got what was left loaded. So somewhere in there we had I opened up the swap table where people could, people brought stuff that they didn't want anymore, and you could take stuff off the table if you wanted it. And then went to supper. Oh, I forgot one part. Okay, so after brunch, when we came back, I handed out the last of the gifts, which was the box that everything goes in. Dan, these were purchased from Hobby Lobby, and then Dan sanded them, I painted them, and lined the inside with the inspiration fabric. And then all of their little goodies, and I'm not sure how this is going to go, all of their little goodies fit inside the box. So the needle cases, there's a slot for the, can you point to the things as I say it? There's a slot for the corner gauge, and then there's the 2020 bobbin, and then there's the tape measure. It has a slot for it, and then there's the 2021 bobbin, and then the rest of the stuff just kind of sits down in there like that. And then the spool, where'd the spool go? I just need the spool, not the spool. Fits in there too if you want to keep your quart container in there. The bottom is also, yep, scissors are in there. Scissors, everything is in there. Thimble thing. Can you put your hand there, and I'm gonna put my hand here so I can flip it. I don't want things to fall out. So the bottom is also lined, and Dan made the box doesn't come with this piece or this wood piece that these are sitting in. Dan made those, and I painted them and got them glued in there. And then on the top is where you put your stitched piece. Which looks like that. I don't know, you can kind of see the Julie on the little tag.
Keep going in.
Huh? What? So, I did satin stitches on here, but those could be cross-stitched if people didn't want to do the satin stitches to make it look like the thread was actually wrapped around the bobbin. There's your buttons. So, the fabric is called, what is the fabric called? Silver something, I think. Huh, this will tell me. Still with me? Silver Moon, 32 count Silver Moon linen. So that was the last of their gifts. And like I said, then we went back to having the shop open and packing it up, stitching. Went to supper, came back, stitched. We also did the exchange. We had a smalls exchange, so we did that Saturday night. I have a picture. I forgot to take a picture of my small, but Nicole, the Buckeye Stitcher, was attending, and she received my small, so I texted her this morning and said, hey, can you take a picture? So that's the small that I stitched. It's done on 40 count over 2. And then the back side, hold on, then stop that. That's the back side. It was a kit from Samplers Not Forgotten from a couple of years ago. Now I did change the color of the fabric that I stitched it on because it was supposed to be, I think, putty from Weeks Dye Works, and I didn't like that color, so I stitched it on a more neutral. I think that might be Fawn from Lakeside. But that was my exchange piece, and I received...
Cardinal.
That's not a cardinal. Where is it? Right here. Ah. I received from Judy Starkey, who attended. Some of you may know her. She's from the Kansas City area. So this is Jeanette Douglas Chubby Bird, done on 56 count. And then she did 2021 on the back side. And it's a fob for your scissors, and she included the scissors with them. Isn't that adorable? Look at him. He's just absolutely adorable. So thank you, Judy. I'm really enjoying my exchange piece. He's cute, very, very cute. So we did the exchange, and then people just stitched. Sunday we got up, went to breakfast, and then because of the rain, I think was kind of making people a little nervous.
Dirt roads.
It was bad. The dirt getting out of there was bad. It was horribly slick. Sorry, I'm itching over here. I have hives. It was really slick, and the rain was coming down pretty hard. So I think people were just ready to get home before it got even worse. So pretty much everyone packed up, and even though they didn't have to leave until 2, everyone was gone by 12:30, 1 o'clock. Connie and I finished packing up everything, loaded up the cars, and we hit the road, and we're back to the shop by, I think it was about 2:30 maybe. Got the car unloaded and started putting things away because the shop was going to be open on Tuesday, so we had to get the shop put back together. So we worked about 4 hours, and I looked at Connie and I said, we're not getting this done tonight. Let's go home. So we called it a day, and we went home, had some supper, and crashed, and then got up and was at the shop by 9:30. And it took us another 3.5 hours, I think, to get everything put away and it somewhat cleaned up. And we finally just stuck a fork in it, called it done. And instead of going back to the house here and resting, we came back to the house, let the dogs out, had a little bite to eat, and then decided to go to the Brass Armadillo. So I've got my haul from that to show you next.
Does everybody know what the Brass Armadillo is?
Brass Armadillo. They've heard me talk about the Brass Armadillo. And it's an antique mall. For those of you who may be new and don't know, that's one of our favorite. Dan and I love to go and do that. He was working though, so he didn't get to go this time. But Connie and I also like to go. So I will show you my haul in just a minute. But that is pretty much how retreat went. I have a couple of other things to show you that are related to retreat. One thing I forgot to mention, and I'll have to show you in a picture because I can't find mine. So I had Connie send me a picture. But every year, to welcome people to the retreat, we lay a little gift item on their bed so that it's there when they check in. And usually it's their Ort container with some candy. And since this year their Ort container wasn't finished, because that was what they were going to be finishing, I decided to come up with something different to put on their bed. And in one of our Zoom sessions, Stacy had been using this tiny pair of tongs to eat her cheese balls with, because then her fingers don't get dirty. And I thought, well, that would be an awesome thing to do. So I hunted down these little mini tongs that look like this, and some of them have hands on the end, and some have flowers, and so there's different shapes on the end, but they look like this. They're not very big. And I had my sister.
It's from a surgical supply store, isn't it?
No, this is from Amazon, dear. I don't think this would work. Can it? Oh, it can pull your hair. Look at that.
Ow.
So anyway, I had my sister make little bag toppers for them with a little poem that I wrote that says, food on your hand often lingers. Use these tongs instead of fingers. And then so they got a little baggie with some M&Ms and their tongs. And that's the topper that my sister made. Thank you, Melanie. I appreciated it greatly. And then, and yes, you heard that right. I always call her Melanie. And then on the back side it says, retreat calories don't count. Eat all you want. We have a pretty sizable treat table at retreat, so there's always something for someone to eat. Most of it was pre-packaged this year due to COVID and stuff. But I had food grade plastic gloves at the treat table and hand sanitizer, so people could sanitize, put the gloves on, get what they needed, throw the gloves away, and so no one was touching anything. And as far as I know, no one has gotten sick. The majority of us, I think, were vaccinated, but I know there were a few that were not. So that was one thing I forgot to mention in my timeline of things. And then I received a couple of gifts while I was at retreat. My friend Mary had stitched this little cardinal from a magazine. Can't remember which one exactly. I'm sure I could find out if I need to. But she gave it to me. And it's so sweet. I absolutely love it. So thank you very much, Mary. I love my little cardinal pillow.
Cardinal in the Aspens.
Cardinal in the Aspens, yes. And then my friend Donna, who's from Georgia, she came to retreat and she brought Dina half-stitch, cross-stitch fame. She's a floss tuber. In case you don't know her, you should check her out. And she brought me this Cardinal Bag from So Much to Love. There's the front. And then inside it, there's a little little bag to put my scissors and glasses and such in there. And then she also brought me these Twistable colored pencils that she uses to mark off her charts. And I had never heard of them, so she brought me a package of those. And they do work quite nicely. Got all kinds of colors, and you just twist them up from the bottom, and you can just color it off as you go. So it works nice, and you don't have to worry about potentially getting highlighter on your stitching, which you'd be surprised the number of pieces that come in for framing that actually do have yellow highlighter on it. And that's really hard to get out, in my experience. Okay, do I have anything else to talk about retreat? Do you have anything to add?
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
I don't think so. I wasn't there.
I know you weren't there. Let's see. One of the things that kept me busy prior to retreat was I made a crap ton of scissor fobs and floss keeps. This is just what's left after retreat. I sold quite a lot of them, but it takes a while to make that much bling. So that took up a lot of time. I was just going to show a couple of, I love the rhinestone ones. There's that. This one's pretty. I like this one. It's got the tomato and the scissors on it, and I found little tomato charms to put on there. So anyway, those, you can imagine how many I had before retreat. This is what's left after. So that took a lot of time to make those. Let's see. So thank you, Donna, for the lovely bag and gifts. I appreciate those. I want to make sure I say thank you to everyone. Thank you, Vonna. Thank you, Mary, for your gift. Thank you, Connie, for all the work that you did. I know I beat your body up tremendously.
She helped. I thought she was just here to eat and watch TV.
No, she did help. She did help. All of the packaging ideas were really Connie's ideas. She's really good at packaging things and coming up with ideas for that. So thank you. I know your body was protesting loudly.
She's the one who made me go to 14 different
She did.
dollar stores.
She had the idea to do a cup. So Dan had to go, no, I don't think it was 14. But he went to a number of Dollar Trees to get all matching cups for us. So thank you, Dan, for your assistance and your hard work on the boxes. I appreciate it.
It's a lot of sanding is all.
It's a lot of sanding. It is, because he always does a lot of people would just paint it the way it was. But he sands them all down. I put a coat on, and then he sands them a second time so that they're nice and smooth and finished.
It's my pet peeve about craft shows.
It's the sanding.
People don't sand their woodworking stuff.
Let's see, do I have anything else? Did I say Happy Halloween? I don't think I said Happy Halloween. It is Halloween today. I think we're probably going to keep the lights off and sit in the dark.
Eat our Reese's Pieces.
It's cold out. I don't think there'll be many kids out anyway. So I don't think we're going to answer the door.
We do have pumpkins out there.
Yeah, where did those come?
Pretty sure Marcia brought those.
I think Marcia, yeah, I got home from work yesterday and I had pumpkins all over my porch. And I'm like, I didn't put those pumpkins there, and I'm pretty sure you didn't put those pumpkins there. So I think our daughter-in-law must have snuck over and
with the girls, probably.
With the girls, and decorated the front porch. And I don't know if they're going out trick or treating, or if they
conventionally, I don't think, or traditionally.
They did a thing down in the park last night. So Or was that the night before? It was the night before,
nights.
Friday night. Where are you going?
I was gonna take a picture, but my phone's dead.
Of what?
I was gonna take a picture
Oh.
of the pumpkins, but my phone's dead.
So, what?
Picture.
Hold, please. So I think that's it for the retreat recap, which has taken 40 minutes. We had fun. Like I said, we had a lot of new people, which added a new flavor. And everyone, all the regulars thought the new people were delightful. So that was good. I think everyone had a good time. Or at least everyone told me they had a good time. But, you know, they're not going to tell me, oh, I had the worst time ever. I'll never come to your retreat again. So, but I think they had a good time. And they enjoyed the gifts, I think. So our next retreat is in May. It is a no frills retreat. And I am, what? Yeah, I know, it's cold.
Shouldn't be wearing a t-shirt this time of year.
So I don't think, yeah. So I came home and found that on my front porch yesterday.
The dogs are in the window.
Yeah, they are in the window. That's because you went outside. Can't go outside without them. No frills retreat in May. And that's no frills. It is going to be this. I think I sat down for maybe 3 hours. The entire 4 days. That I was not sitting and working on the computer, checking people out and collecting money from the shop night. But to sit down and just visit with people, I think maybe I had three or 4 hours in the entire time. So I would like a retreat where I just get to sit and stitch and visit with everybody. So May is a no frills, which would mean fall next year would be the next frills retreat.
You already have a name?
Yeah, I think we already have the design is designed. It's partially stitched. We have the name. So next fall would be the next frills retreat.
Is there any woodworking?
No, I don't think so.
It's a big one, Ethel.
I don't think you will have to do, other than, you know, Dan had made a few yardstick trays and boxes. Those sold out at shop night, just boom, gone. So you need to start working on things like that in between home projects, which we'll talk about at some point in this video, is how the bathroom is going. But I want to wrap up the retreat thing, and
We're going to talk about how we're going to the bathroom?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. I share everything.
I guess.
But I think that's it for the retreat. Do you think I'm missing anything?
No, unless you got... No, you didn't stitch on anything while you were
I stitched very little. Maybe 50 stitches the entire 4 days.
Is that why you took out 15 projects
That's why
with
I
you?
took, yes. And believe me, I heard about that from Connie, because the night before we left, I was packing up my stitching bag, and I had like 20 that I wanted to take out, and they wouldn't fit in my bag. And Connie's like, you only need 3. You're only going to work on 3. Just take 3. Well, I pared it down to, I think I took 11. But I got maybe 30 stitches in, is all. So it wasn't a good... Connie and I both said this was the first time we pretty much worked the entire 4 days, which was probably my own fault. But I'm looking forward to May's retreat when I don't have to do anything but stitch. So.
Where's that?
Huh?
Where's that?
What do you mean, where's that?
Is that at Calvin Crest?
It's at Calvin Crest. You got a sticker?
Nope, cut.
Oh. So yeah, it'll be back at Calvin Crest. Although I am told that there are more people that want to come, and we're not going to be using. They have a second building, but it has deteriorated greatly in the last 2 years, and we will not be using that building again. So I'm going to have to, either there's not going to be any private rooms, or I have to cut the number of people by 10. So, and I'm told that there are many people who wish to come to retreat. The thing,
Tents.
tents. Yeah, I don't really think we're tent people, and we're not really, there's cabins, but we're not really bunk bed people. So I'm going to be looking for a place that might take a few more people, but the cost is going to go up because Calvin Crest is pretty reasonable in comparison to other places. Like I've checked out Mahoney and it's like 3 times the price, and I've checked out the one in Nebraska City, which is 4 times the price. And most everyone is booked years in advance. So I think it may just be I have to cut the number of people that come. So just a little FYI, the way I do my retreats, to reward those people that come. The last retreat, they get a day's advance notice to register for the next retreat. So those that came to fall retreat get to register a day ahead of anyone else. Now there's usually still a spot or 2 left after that, but if I have to cut by 10 people because so many people want private rooms these days, that probably won't happen. So just an FYI, if you're thinking of coming, don't hesitate when it comes the time to register. Although the No Frills retreat tends to have less people interested in coming because a lot of them want the frills. I just want time to sit and stitch and be with friends. So anyway, that's it. I'm not going to ramble anymore about retreat unless, of course, something pops into my head. Once I stick a fork in it, call it done. But I'm sticking a fork in it and calling it done. Okay? Now, all right, let's then move on to the few things that I have managed to stitch on in the last 3 months, which has not been a whole lot, but we'll go over it quickly. It shouldn't take too terribly long. First one is a Noel sampler from With Thy Needle and Thread. I am doing it on a different color. Did I write that down? No. Do I have it in my phone?
It looks like seafoam.
It's not seafoam.
Well, it should be.
Just a minute. Usually, hopefully, it's in here. There it is. Did I put the... This is 40 count patina from Color and Cotton. And this was started a year ago, November of 2020. So I added the windows, is all I've managed to do. It looks a little different on that fabric, and I kind of like it. What do you think? You like the colored? I like the colored. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but I
Not so
like it.
contrasting.
The next one I worked on is Love Abide from La Di Da. And I got the grass finished. I got this in, and I finished. No, I got this in. So I finished the grass over to here, got this in, and I did that house. This is one that the picture just doesn't do it justice. When you see it all stitched up, it's so pretty. And really, once you get the rest of the houses done, the rest of it's not a ton of stitching. The words will go quickly. The alphabet will go quickly. The tree might take a little bit of time, but anyway. And did a little bit on the Dmc Sampler. It looks like this. Oh, the La Di Da one is on 40 count vintage lentil from Lakeside. This one, I don't know what it is. It looks kind of like fawn from Lakeside. And I didn't get very far on it. Carried this up here. I had to rip out a bunch because I was off. So I ripped out and I carried this back up and got a couple of the leaves done and a couple flowers in. And that's about all.
It goes all the way around?
That will go all the way around.
Busy.
Yes.
But you got a lot of the hard stuff done, the building.
The buildings, well, part of the buildings are done. I still have a lot of green grass to stitch down there. That will take a while. I worked a little bit on my Peacock. This is from Antique Needlework Designs. It's called Peacock and Scrolling Roses. I'm doing mine on, I can't remember off the top of, I can't remember anything these days. This is, I don't know. I don't know what this is. Oh yeah, I do, Dulce de Leche. So I did, and I got this done at retreat. I did part of this flower right in here. So not a whole lot. But some is better than none. My problem is I have so many I want to work on. And so little time. This was supposed to be I was supposed to be doing Out of the Stash at Last in October. There will be no Out of the Stash at Last if I have a retreat, a frills retreat in October. That is not happening because I didn't get any stitching done. So this was supposed to be my week 2 piece. I can't remember. Week 1 piece I got finished, I think. But I didn't bring it because I'm waiting for the frame. This is Harvest Keeper. And you see those 2 lines under her waist? That's it. That's all I got done. So once again, it will go back into the drawer. This is, I can't find my actual thing. This is just one I printed off the internet so you could see a picture. Somewhere I have actually 2 of these charts running around because I forgot I bought one and then I bought another. But my dogs tend to eat my charts, so I don't like to leave my real ones laying around for very long. This next one is Anna Grader. She was my week 1 Out of the Stash at Last. So I did not, yeah, I thought Samplers was my week 1, but it's not. That was my 25/7 challenge piece, and I did get it finished. Anna Grader, this is being done on 40 count tin roof, and this is as far as I got. These eyelet stitches, can you tell they're eyelets? They take a little time. I don't mind doing them, but they do take a little bit of time to get done. So, and for those of you who don't know what Anna Grader looks like, there's Anna Grader.
Is that her down the bottom?
No, it's not. There's an explanation of who that is. But that, and this Anna Grader did not live in 1812. Just, there's a story. You'd have to read it. I'm not going to.
We need our history lesson, though.
I'm not giving you a history lesson today. Oh no, did I not bring this chart over? Okay, Dan, entertain the troops. I'll be right back.
What am I supposed to say?
I don't know. I'm sure you'll think of something.
No, I won't. I got nothing. She'll be back soon.
You could have told him your joke.
No, I don't think so.
I think you should tell him your joke.
No.
He was really proud of his joke. See what I mean by the dogs like to eat my charts? If you don't put them away, this is what happens. And those are little tiny teeth marks, so it's your dog that did that.
Sure, my dog.
I caught her chewing on an antique piece of furniture the other day. Just gnawing on the leg. Ow, ow, ow. Anyway, Cranberry Christmas. I am in love with this piece. I love these trees. I love the house. I love the colors of the house. I did change it. It calls for DMC 349 and red rocks because there's two different reds in this house. You can see the stripes. But 349 was too coral colored for me, so I did change it to 817.
Better known as brick.
Nope, better known as pretty red. So I am kind of focusing on this one because I love it so much and I want to get it done. But that's, isn't that pretty? Don't you love those trees? Look at those trees.
Trees are cool.
Aren't they cool? I love those trees.
Simple.
Yeah, they're very simple but stunning. Absolutely stunning. Love it, love it, love it. So I haven't put the date in because, you know, something could happen. I may not get it done. I'm hoping to get it done before the end of the year, but that'll be the last thing I put in just in case I go over into 2022. But all I have left, I've got to finish the little leaves down this side. I need to put a star on top of this tree, and then I have everything down here to do, which really shouldn't take that long, I don't think. But, you know, if you don't stitch, you don't get it done, so it could happen. This is 40 count winter brew, by the way. I think it does call for winter brew, so look at that. I did the actual color called for. It calls for 36 count. This, you know, they've got it made into a pillow on the back side, but it's going to be a big pillow. Because this is, what would you say, 12 inches maybe?
Mm-hmm.
12 by the time I get the stuff below, maybe 8 or 9. So not, and that's on 40 count, so I'm going to frame it, I think. I don't think I'll make a pillow out of it. The dogs would just chew on it, so no pillow. So that's what I've stitched on. Which again, it's not much. It is not much. I have two things that I have. Well, one came kitted. So one thing that I have kitted up, and then a kit that I ordered like 3 months ago, and it finally came in. So this is from Cross Stitch Antiques. It's called Catherine Armstrong, 1856. And those are all the pretty colors. They're MPIs. MPIs, pretty colors. And I am going to stitch this on Vintage Light Exemplar. It's a 40 count. So it looks like that. Oh, it's got a floss on it. How about that? So I did kit that one up because it was hanging there and staring at me day after day after day and saying, "Take me home." So I did. Had to. What are you gonna do? And then this was one I saw on the Witchelt website and thought, you know, that's really pretty. I think I need to order it. So I did. It's a kit from, I should know the name, but it's escaping me right now. It has some really pretty designs. But anyway, this one is a fall design. And see, it's got the male and female cardinal over here and here. And this pumpkin gourd thing in the middle. And I just thought it was so pretty. Naturally, it comes with Ada, so I put the Ada in stock at the shop. So it was a decent size. Marika is the name of the kit designer. M-E-R. I don't have my glasses on. Hold. M-E-R-E-J-K-A. I'm going to guess it's Marika. It could be something else.
Could be Russian.
Yeah, I don't know. Designer's name is Susan Bull Riley. Anyway, I thought it was beautiful, or the artist's name is Susan Bull Riley. I thought it was beautiful, so I ordered it for myself. It comes with DMC flosses, and they're all separated for you. Lovely colors. Gonna look good for fall. And I chose a 40 count Olympia from Mystic Fabrics. It was one of their new colors at Expo. Obviously, it needs to be ironed. So, but it's kind of a gray blue with a little bit of beige in it here and there. And I thought it would make a pretty background for those colors instead of the white Ada that it came with. So that is, what are you doing?
I'm sorry, look at it.
That is everything that I have worked on or kitted up. I have a couple of finishes that are finished. I finished my sampler, my band sampler that I designed. It went to the fair. It got a blue ribbon. So I finished that. So I'm going to talk about that next. So if you want to grab that. Okay. I showed this on Instagram when I finished the stitching on it, but now it's all framed and ready to go. So I'm going to share the finish with you. This is what it looks like. It's done in red and black. The red is Gloriana Silk Poinsettia, and the black is just NPI black. The verse reads, "A bit of fabric, a needle, and thread are all I need to clear my head. My needle flowing in and out as I follow the charted route. Stitching X's in a row, creating beauty as I go. Relieves my worries, stress, and strife, all a part of this busy life. And when I'm finished for the day, my worries have all faded away." You brat. So I wrote just a little bit of history. This is the second ending. There is an alternate ending that I wrote first that was more how I was feeling at the time.
It more reflects your personality.
It more reflects my personality. Thank you, Dan. So the chart. This is the cover, and it's AKA the murder poem, because it was written with my children in mind when they were growing up. Without cross stitch, I would have killed them all. The cross stitch kind of kept me from smothering them in their beds, and I explain a little bit about that in a this letter comes with the chart, but it explains a little bit about why it's also called the murder poem, and the original version does come in the chart, so you have an option to do the kinder, gentler version or the how I really feel version. So, which is something along the lines of when I'm done and headed for bed, all thoughts of murder are gone from my head. So you get to choose which way you want to stitch it. I know a lot of my friends are stitching it with the original version. But anyway, just a few other things to point out about this. When I was designing it, since it was about needlework, I wanted to include some things with needlework. So this band has needles. That's what those crosses are. See, there's the eye of the needle and the point. This band is embroidery hoops that are just laid on top of each other to create that design. And then this band down here, those are 4 set pairs of scissors with the points in the middle. So it all has something to do with stitching. She's a big girl, but I had a lot of fun stitching her, and she's available for sale on the website if anyone is interested. And like I said, she got a blue ribbon at the fair. I was surprised. I didn't think, because I kind of hurried the stitching on that one, so I figured I'd get dinged for the stitching, but I did not. So I must have done a better job than I thought. But I was surprised because it was up against one of my customers, Karen. She had her English garden sampler, which is a stunning sampler, in the same category, and I thought for sure that would get the blue ribbon, but it did not. So
is that frame still available?
That frame was available when I ordered it, yes. Framing is still an issue. I have a sample order in, kind of from people that said they wouldn't care if it took a year, so I ordered some frames last week, and we will see what comes in. I don't know. I had a few more finishes. This is one from With Thy Needle and Thread, and I don't know the name of it, and I didn't bother to look it up. I did it on I think this is 28 count over 1, and put it on this little, what would you call that? Horn book. Added a little candy up there. And then it can hang in the wall or go on an easel or lay on a table or go in a bowl. It's pretty versatile because it's tiny. It's, there's my hand. So it's pretty tiny. The box. This is from the Ooh La La book from Blackbird Designs. It's one of the smaller designs in the book. I didn't use the fabric called for because I didn't have the fabric called for. This is Sampler Gold from Color and Cotton. But I did use the color that they used to paint their box. This was a box that I found, I think I showed you, that I found at the antique store. It's a really nice heavy shaker box. It got a blue ribbon. Blue ribbon. The inside is just painted. But it's a very heavy, nice, well-built shaker box. But that's what it looks like. So I was happy with that one. And then this one I finished long time ago, but was waiting to get the frame in, and it finally came in. This is a La-Di-Da, I think. And I think it's called Merry Christmas. Let me see, what's it? Merry Christmas Sampler by La-Di-Da. It's stitched on 40 count vintage lentil by Lakeside Linens, and it uses the DMC threads as called for. So I'm happy with that one too. It only got a 3rd place ribbon. I think that was one of the ones that I got dinged on for it. It had I think a dog hair or two that I didn't get cleaned out of there. I was kind of in a hurry. The frame came in last minute, and I wanted to get it sent to the fair, so I just put it in there. And I probably should have taken a minute to do a final cleaning, and I didn't. So my bad. That's what happens. They do look at things like dog hair and specialty fibers, as I call them. Dog hair and dirt and things like that, they do look at that. So make sure you look for that before you put it in the fair. Okay, that takes care of my stitching and my finishes. The only thing I have left is the haul from my fabulous trip to the. I had a good time. I found lots of treasures. Connie was mad at me. She found the first treasure, which was a salt and pepper shaker that went with, the little petty point dishes that I have shown you before that look like cross stitch. She found a salt and pepper shaker set, mint condition, that goes with those. I would have wanted it had I seen it first, but she saw it first, so she got that. But I think I got to all this other stuff that she would have wanted.
You guys didn't do any bartering before she left?
No. I wanted to keep what I had, and I wasn't willing to trade anything to get the salt and pepper shakers. I figure sometime I'll run into those salt and pepper shakers again. Sometime, maybe. I don't know. So anyway, I don't know who is, child. It's Abby, wanting Christmas ideas. It's so hard to give ideas. Maybe I want a handheld vacuum cleaner for upstairs, so I don't have to cart upstairs. Like a stick vacuum. I know. I never thought I would ask for a vacuum cleaner for Christmas. But,
Which designer color would you like?
I don't know. What are you going to do? When you reach our age, you pretty much have everything. She can't go and get me vintage stuff, so, she could do a gift certificate to the Brass Armadillo if she wanted to, but, yeah, anyway, you don't need in on that. So where should I start? I'm going to start with this one. This is part of a vintage vanity set. The lid.
I think this is original though.
Yeah, it is.
Really?
Yeah, that's original. It's just in really good shape. But the inside of the lid, what did we say it says? Regent of London. So it was made in, it says on here, again, glasses. Made in England is what it says. And it's just the little vanity jar. I have my mother's. So this is my second vanity jar, which means one more, and I've got a collection. But it's got, the reason I liked it so much is it's got stitching on it. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? And then the jar itself is really pretty with the cut edges and the pretty, would you say that's brass or?
Yeah, embossed.
Embossed brass design. I just think it's really pretty. And I do have an antique vanity in my bedroom that I do my makeup on, so it'll sit on there. And
should recreate the design.
Well, you could. But anyway, so that was the first thing that made me go, and Connie runs over. What? Like, it's mine. It's mine. We had the poor little guy. There's a little old man that opens up the locked cases. Most of this was found in the locked cases. He was running back and forth the whole damn day. We were there for 5 hours. He was running back and forth because most of that time was spent in the locked cases. And she'd find something that she'd want to look at, and I'd find something I wanted to look at. But of course, she'd look at something and say no. She'd change, it was too expensive or something. And he'd disappear, and then I'd find something, and so he'd have to come back. He should have just stuck with us and followed us for the first 3.5 hours, because he definitely got his steps in that day. But anyway, that was the first moment. And then I think this was the second moment. And again, it's not necessarily something that I will ever use.
It doesn't work.
But, well, I don't know. I'm afraid it will start a fire if I do. It's a lighter. It's an old lighter. But again, it's got the little petty point stitching on it.
That'd have to be like 60-some count, wouldn't it?
I don't know. But it's teeny tiny. And it's all the way around. And it's actual stitching. It's not printed. It's actually stitched. So that goes with my little miniature stitching stuff that I have. I think...
Maracas?
Yeah, that'll be fine. I don't remember exactly what was next, but all of these elicited from me every time when I saw them. These are darning for your socks. You put your sock over there to darn the holes in it, which most people don't do anymore. But I had never, and I have some. I have them in the black and I have them in the wood. They're really good for display pieces. But I had never seen them with the pretty handles on them.
Sterling silver?
I don't know. Again, glasses in order to read the things. They're from circa 1890s. It says small sterling silver handled wool sock darner. So there's a big one and a little one.
Big toes and little toes?
Yeah.
Somebody's got a damn big toe.
Well, it's not just for socks don't have toe hole. Well, most socks don't have. It's for the whole sock, dude.
Oh.
So anyway, I thought those would be pretty in a display, like in one of your trays.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Could drill a hole and put some rice in there and make maracas out of them.
And we're not making maracas. That's good. This is a different needle case that I found.
You had a barrel of fun with this one.
I did. This is an advertising needle case, circa 1892. It's barrel style. I haven't exactly figured out how Connie had it figured out, but I don't remember what she said. But anyway, it says needle case right on there. Needle case. And I hadn't seen one. I'd seen the kind like we put in the, this kind I see frequently. But this was the first time I'd seen, of course I saw it twice that day. which seems to be the way things happen. Is you'll see something that you've never seen before, and then you see it 3 or 4 times that day. So it's got like a picture on this side, which is, I don't know what it is, Women's Palace.
Yeah, somewhere in Pennsylvania, I think.
1492 to 1892. But anyway, there's this spins, and I think you're supposed to line up.
It's probably segmented in there.
Yeah. So
And
you
you
line
turn
up.
it.
There's a thing, and you line it up, and I think then you can drop the needles down inside. So I don't know if it's for old needles or new needles, or I just thought it was kind of cool. So I picked that up because that would look good in one of your little trays too. If I wasn't so selfish and greedy, I would, have a little case with things that people could put in the trays.
Mm-hmm.
And because not everyone enjoys going antiquing. That's something to ponder.
Mm-hmm.
This was just a little $1 shaker box. I've got another piece in mind that I think will fit on this, but it's not as well made as the other one. It's kind of flimsy, but it'll still work and it was $1, so that'll be good for a finish. Again, this is a little something that looks good in your trays. It's just a little bobbin. Still has the original wool on it. And it works well to put a little scissor in for display. It was $2. So I picked that up. This elicited a big from me, and Connie was really mad that she didn't see it first. It needs some work. I haven't even cleaned this stuff up yet. But it's another one of the little pin cushions. You can see there were holes here all along here. And then if you look, there's holes in here too, on 2 tiers. They're kind of offset, where we think there were, what would you call them, spokes, or to put spools on. So I'm going to have Dan do that, and it's missing, it must have had a little knob here. So it's missing the knob, but the drawer opens. So I'm going to have Dan fix that. I got to clean it all up, oil it all up. This is hard as a rock. I don't think I'll be putting many needles in there. I think whatever was in there is
Cork maybe or something.
I don't know. So, but I thought that was cool. I like little wood things. I knew Dan would like that. He said that was his favorite thing that I picked up.
Yep, that's cool.
And then I think I've said before that I like ironstone, vintage ironstone, and I like crazing. And for those of you who don't know what crazing is, it's all these little tiny cracks in the glaze. So it's a little, I would guess it's some sort of a soup tureen, small, and should have had a lid on it, but no lid. But what it'll be good for...
Conspiracy.
Yeah, we don't know where the lid's go. What it'll be good for is I can put a little display of, this pillow is too small without there being something in the bottom, but you can put a little display of pillows in it. You can put potpourri in it, but just basically it's a nice display piece. There were no chips or cracks on it. It had that nice vintagey crazing on it.
No flea bites.
No flea bites, no markings on it, so I don't know who made it, but I tend to like the cream colored ones because they'll go with anything. And then I found, again, ironstone.
It matches.
It's not the same designer though. This is a Johnson Brothers, and again, it's got the crazing. It's just a nice vintage platter that will look good back there. It was just, not a lot of money. There was no flea bites or anything on it, so it was in good condition. So it had to I find it interesting, though, that, there is no crazing here, but the rest of it is crazed. And I wonder what causes that.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. It's craziness. And then the last and final, hopefully you're still with me, because this one really got out of me. And I still don't exactly know anything about it. I have Googled until I'm blue in the face. Emily was on the case Friday night. She sat on the sofa after I showed it to her, and her mother is a research librarian. So she's got some research skills.
Works at a university.
Works at a university. So she was looking, and she didn't find a whole lot on it either. It's a purse, obviously.
She found out the artwork.
She did find the original artwork on print, but it's a purse. See this chainmail purse. It's got 2 handles on it. But what got me was the top. Isn't that cool? Look at that. So that's based on a piece of artwork from, I can't remember the guy's name now, but it's called Le Nid, which means the nest. There's a name on here, M. Moret, M-O-R, is it E-T? Yeah. M. Moret, M-O-R-E-T, and then it says Le Nid, and it's made in France. It says made in France back here.
Because nid means nest in French.
Right. It's obviously kind of old, but the inside is beautiful. It's clean. This is kind of messed up, but if I was that old, I'd probably look that way too.
Actually, I think it's probably Queen Victoria's lunchbox.
I don't think it was a lunchbox.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a lunchbox. And then inside here, there's this Ungar,
which is Czechoslovakian, I think, or Yugoslavian.
I don't remember what she.
Hungary, maybe.
Hungary is a company in Hungary.
It goes with the lunchbox, Dave.
But I think it's a purse.
No, it's a lunchbox.
I think it's a purse.
Queen's lunchbox.
I think it's a purse. But I just thought it was really pretty. I don't know what I'll do with it. It'll probably sit on my dresser or something. And I have a really old silver round jewelry box that I got when I was a kid. So, it's 50-some years old. So it would be considered vintage also. This is probably from the 40s, I would guess.
The 1740s?
No, the 1940s. But again, I can't find anything about it. So if you guys are a researcher and you want to try, I don't suppose that it's, like worth $1 million or anything, but I do like to know kind of a little bit of a history as to what year it would be in.
She has a nest.
Yeah, she's holding a nest.
With a bird.
I just think it's a cool piece, so it had to come home with me. That is everything that I found on my treasure hunt, which was quite a lot of treasures. And Connie found quite a few treasures too. So we had a good day. I was sad to see her go. She headed back to Valentine then on Tuesday. And I don't suppose I will see her till, I don't know, maybe retreat in May. Might be the next time.
Babysit or something.
It's just hard in the wintertime. Valentine is a 6-hour drive, and you just never know what the weather's going to do. So I know she's going to come down to the airport because she's got to fly to Texas. Her daughter's going to have surgery. But I don't know that she'll have time for a visit at that point. I hope so. but I don't know. Otherwise, I would guess almost that it'll be May. The retreat's technically the end of April. I think it ends on May 1st. Would be the next time I probably see her for any length of time. But we'll have to plan that she stays in town again on Monday so we can do a little antique shopping again. Anyway, I think we're at an hour and 30 minutes.
Were you going to say something about the bathroom? Or not?
Oh, the bathroom. Yes, the bathroom. The bathroom is coming along. It's usable. We have the tile is all done. The plumbing is all done. We're showering in it. The toilet's there. The sinks are there. We now have 2 mirrors. As with everything else, I ordered 2 mirrors from Amazon. 1 mirror came the day it was supposed to. The other mirror is still wandering the country somewhere. I don't know how that happens when they're ordered from the same place at the same time, and one of them shows up and one of them doesn't. And it it was supposed to be here weeks ago, so it's just traveling somewhere. Their message on my account said it may be lost. I'm like, really? You think so? So I ordered 2 more because I went to order a replacement, and of course that particular mirror was no longer available. It wasn't anything special, just one of those real thin rimmed mirrors. So I could have gambled, ordered one that looked similar online, and gambled that it matched. But with my luck, it would not have matched. So I went ahead and ordered 2 more mirrors. It did match, so now we have an extra mirror, so we have to return it. But Dan got the second mirror hung, so now there's 2 mirrors in there. He's got all the robe, we've got 2 hooks hung for robes and nighties and stuff, and the towel bars are up.
Toilet paper holder.
Yep, toilet paper holder is on. Shelves are in the cupboards now, so I can start putting towels and stuff away. We still have no doors, but he's working on the sliding barn door for the door leading from the bedroom into the bathroom. He's got one side. There's gonna be 2 because we didn't have enough room for just one door to slide, so it's got to be 2 doors. So he's got one stained and partially varnished, right? All the woodwork inside the bathroom is done, like the mold, base molding and molding around the windows. That's all done. So basically the inside of the bathroom is now finished, except for window coverings. Right now we just have paper over the window. I wanted to get motorized cellular shade because the window is over the bathtub, and I didn't want to be climbing into and out of the bathtub to get the shade up and down or to open, curtains or whatever. So I wanted motorized, but they're kind of pricey. So we're pondering still what we want to do. So right now it's just paper. So the inside of the bathroom is 99.9% done. You still need to do my plug-in underneath my sink for my hairdryer, because I don't usually my hairdryer stays plugged in and it lays in the sink, which is not safe. So I had them run a plug-in in the vanity cupboard, but it's not hooked up yet. So he needs to do that. I think that's pretty much the last thing in that inside the bathroom.
Yep, and get the one
Other than
switch
the
fixed.
windows. We got the electrician kind of screwed up a little bit on the
Three-way switch.
three-way switch, and it's not three-way.
It's only 2.5.
So 2.5, as Dan puts it. 2.5. And then we've got, he started painting the bedroom, but he's still got to finish most of that painting and all the woodworking in the bedroom and the new floor. And I decided I wanted to put some shiplap on the wall that the bed's on, the headboard is on. So we got to do that. So there's still quite a bit to do in the bedroom part, but the bathroom part looks beautiful. At some point when I get it all decorated, I will take some pictures and show you, or a little video. But I'm really happy with it. I think you're really happy with it, how it came out. So, progress has been made. Good progress has been made. We got the holidays coming up, and now I got to focus on trying to clean the house and get everything put back, because when you're doing construction, things get moved around, and so I've got a lot of cleaning to do, which is what I should be doing today. But I decided I needed to do the video first.
Just a short video.
Yeah, just a short video. I should cut it in two, but I'm not going to. You can just watch it in segments if you want, or watch what you want and not watch what doesn't interest you. But that, I think, is it, right? Are we done?
Mm-hmm.
We're done. We're done. I'm sure you're sick of us by now.
Did you announce our other grandchild? Anybody?
I think I said something about Abby being pregnant in the last video. She's due in April, and we're going to have our first grandson. Probably our last grandson, because she's not going to do this again. And Marcia and Adam are done. So, and Amy and Emily are not having children.
Really? Is that this one?
I think they pretty much decided they're not going to have kids. They're just going to focus on the nieces and the new nephew. So, yeah, Dan's going to have a grandson to spoil. He's excited. He thinks that they should name the grandson Dan. That's not happening. Dano. That's not happening. I like the name Finn, but Abby absolutely hates Finn. So who knows what this kid's going to be named. But anyway, he's due in April sometime. I don't know the date.
It's not that far away.
And we got to get through winter. It's going to be a long, cold winter, I think.
No, they said it wasn't going to be as cold this year.
That's not what I heard.
Although it's pretty damn, winter is coming out today.
It is, winter is coming, yes. So, anyway, we're going to let you go. I hope everyone is doing well. And I will hopefully get another video made sooner than a month or 3. But no guarantees. So, you take care until then, and get lots of stitching done. Bye.
Bye.